Hello everybody and welcome to Nathan on Shuffle and to another episode of New Album Spotlight, where I put the spotlight on a new album in progressive rock that I've really been enjoying. And today I have a really good one for you guys today. It's Hasse Fröberg and Musical Companion and the album Eternal Snapshots. Hasse Fröberg founded this group in 2008. A bit of an offshoot from the Flower Kings. Hasse Fröberg is one of the lead vocalists for the Flower Kings, also plays some guitar and other instruments with them as well. But this was him kind of branching out and doing his own band and project. And what they've produced is some really fun music over the years, with many albums to their name at this point. The debut album Future Past was released in 2010, and they've released many albums in the interim. And what I think about when I try to compare and contrast Hasse Fröberg's project here with the Flower Kings, I find his music to be a bit more leaning towards classic rock than prog, but of course with proggy undertones, and prog flourishes all the way throughout. But I think of bands more like Queen, Styx, those more pop rock bands of the 70s when I think of his music. But I really enjoy Hasse's approach because he never just stays content with just standard rock music. There's always twists and turns. There's always little bits that go into different musical directions, and this album's no exception. It's a really cool album. It's compact. It's about 47 minutes long, and each track is really fun and singular in its own way. It's a bit conceptual, maybe a loose concept album, thematically linked through Hasse's personal feelings, exploring how life unfolds in unexpected ways, affected by things such as childhood and upbringing, asking questions around chance and destiny. So it's basically centered around this basic question of what makes us who we are. So it's a very introspective album, but what we get in the musical offering is some really upbeat, fun, proggy numbers that are just really exciting and fun to listen to, I have to say. So it brings that kind of classic rock flavor of Queen and Rush and all of these bands, but brings in a symphonic prog edge like Yes, Genesis, and of course the Flower Kings DNA can be felt in this as well. So if you're a fan of all those groups, as I am, this is a no-brainer pick. It's a really fun album. Starts with All I Wanted to Be Part 1, which has a nice proggy instrumental opening, definitely nodding a bit to Trick of the Tail Genesis, with bombast and grandeur before it leads into some proggy Flower Kings-like territory. When the vocals enter with acoustic guitar, it brings more of a reflective mood. And it's a cool opening that's bookended by part 2, which closes out the record in much a similar vein. Deserve to Be Happy has a big upbeat start that immediately goes more low-key with vocals under a burbling bass line, starts ramping up with some big 80s synth energy with a bouncy feel, has a really supremely catchy chorus with a fun pop prog feel, and a great epic guitar solo uplifts this song to another level. A really cool track, really enjoyable and fun to get into the album early on here. Wherever You May Go has some bright acoustic guitar and Hasse's clear vocals, bringing a Yes-like warmth to this opening. Love the summery, upbeat vibes that come throughout the track. When you add in this kind of jaunty synth line to the table partway through, it's just pop prog perfection. This is one of my favorite tracks, and they released it as a bit of a single with the album release, so it's a really cool track to go check out. No Messiah is one of the highlights of the album as well. About 7 minutes long, so it's the longest track on the album, but starts with some of these like 80s Yes-like style vocal harmonies, reminding me of like drama era, and it's really fun. Some cool, sweet, plucking acoustic guitar and piano. It continues with this really quirky, proggy beat that reminds me a bit of Dancing on a Volcano from Genesis in the verses. Just a joy of a track to listen to. Some amazing synth work, a strong vocal section from Ola Strandberg, in fact, and positive, catchy vibes throughout, definitely bringing that Yes spirit to their music throughout. Once in a Lifetime is leaning into their poppier feel, maybe some AOR arena rock from the 80s, very catchy, upbeat, and fun. Adds a bit of a whimsical, like circus-like vaudeville section as well to create an interesting diversion. Once again, like I said, they like to take these little left turns here and there, which is always welcome to me. One of the things I love about prog is that they're willing to experiment and throw in different genres and different moments. And that's a cool one. Only for Me is a bit of a ballad track, piano and pedal steel, beautiful vocals from Stromberg once again. The Yard is a cool but way too short instrumental piece, really built around this cool meaty bass line with plenty of odd proggy keys around it. Just delicious proggy goodness there. Really enjoy that track. Wish it was a couple minutes longer, in fact, but really cool diversion for just under 2 minutes there. Searching for the Dark comes with Hasse's vocals over some tasty Fender Rhodes, some beautiful 70s vocal harmonies with beautiful melody lines. Really cool track. Instrumental section introduces some bluesy guitar, leading to one of the best solos of the album on guitar. So a really expert track, almost like a power ballad feel, but really well done and well realized with some great vocal moments. A Sorrowful Mariner is another short instrumental with some choral voices and some classical sounding keyboard leads, leading into Blind Dog, which is actually more of a Deep Purple-esque rocker track with some killer Hammond organ, more leaning into heavy blues than prog perhaps throughout this piece. But once again, it's a cool left turn, it's a cool diversion into a different style that I think they do expertly well, so I really love it. And then, like I mentioned at the start, we get the closing track, All I Wanted to Be Part 2, which closes things out in a grand fashion. All the prog drama and epic guitar soloing is there, and ends with a bit of a melancholic atmosphere with some acoustic guitar and introspective vocals once again. So great, well-structured album. It never overstays its welcome. Each track is interesting and entertaining in its own right, and it's just a fun journey of an album that I think most of you will enjoy. If you like classic Flower Kings, if you like even the deeper wells of Yes and Genesis, and a bit of that Queen pop rock vibe, I think they have it in spades. It's a fun album to listen to, and I would recommend it heartily to all of you that like the same kind of stuff as me. This is right up my alley, and I've just been loving the record. So thank you guys for joining me for this episode. Hopefully you guys have checked this out or will check it out. Let me know in the comments how you feel about it, and I'd love to hear all your thoughts. So thank you guys so much for joining me once again, and I'll catch you in a future episode. Bye everybody, enjoy the music.